here to save our lives with a sword, not with hugs and kisses, people. He was a human being. Get over it. We all get angry. We all get upset. And what it represented, he had every right to get upset over. You would too. I'm done.
Okay. In the morning, as he was returning to the city, he became hungry, and seeing a fig tree by the wayside, he went to it and found nothing on it but only leaves. And he said to it, "May no fruit ever come from you again." And the fig tree withered at once. When the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, "How did the fig tree wither at once?" And Jesus answered them, "Truly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what has been done to the fig tree, but even if you say to the mountain, 'Be taken up and thrown into the sea,' it will happen. And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith."
There you go. Moving mountains again. Being angry at a tree for not having fruit. Killed it off.
Interesting. It's just interesting. Why does he curse the fig tree?
Because it had no fruit on it. And granted, it seems kind of odd too, but there must be more to this story that we're not given. So we'll have to do some research on the fig tree and why he told it no more fruit for you. You know, I mean, it seems kind of odd and out of place, but it didn't. Maybe people have picked all the fruit off of it. I don't know. We'll have to look into that one because that one's interesting.
Yeah, it is. I agree. And when he entered the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came up to him, and he was teaching and said, "By what authority are you doing these things, and who gave you this authority?" And Jesus answered them, "I also will ask you one question. And if you tell me the answer, then I also will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, from where did it come? From heaven or from man?" And they discussed it among themselves, saying, "If we say from heaven, he will say to us, 'Why then did you not believe him?' And if we say from man, we are afraid of the crowd, for they all hold that John was a prophet." So they answered Jesus, "We do not know." And he said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things." What do you think? A man had 2 sons, and he went to the first and said, "Son, go and work in the vineyard." And he answered, "I will not." But afterwards he changed his mind and went. And he went to the other son and said the same. And he answered, "I go, sir," but did not go. Which of the 2 did the will of the Father? They said, "The first." Jesus said to them, "Truly I say to you, the tax collector and the prostitute go into the kingdom of God before you. For John came to you in the way of the righteous, and you did not believe him. But the tax collector and the prostitutes believed him. And even when you saw it, you did not afterwards change your mind and believe him." Pretty self-explanatory, I would say. Interesting. Any comment, Christina?
Well, it's a bit confusing, I do admit. Because the first son told him no, but changed his mind and did it. Second son lied to his face and said, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll go," and then took off. I mean, it's like, just be honest and be truthful. You're not going to do something, just say it. Don't sit there and lie to somebody and say, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And don't have a change of heart and do what you were asked to do. I mean, obviously the second son just had a hard heart and decided, oh, well, I'll just breeze through life lying. And so he's like looking at him going, well, you know, the prostitute, she's out doing what she does. And she's not lying about it. Tax collector, doing his job. May not like it, but he does it because it's his job. Even those two will make it into heaven before the one who lies straight to my face. It's an interesting turn on things. I like it.
All right. Here another parable. There was a master of a house who planted a vineyard and put a fence around it and dug a winepress in it and built a tower and leased it to tenants and went into another country. When the season for fruit drew near, he sent his servants to the tenants to get his fruit. And the tenants took his servants and beat one, killed another, and stoned another. Again he sent other servants more than the first, and they did the same to them. Finally he sent his son to them, saying, they will respect my son. But when the tenants saw the son, they said to themselves, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him and have his inheritance. And they took him and threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. When therefore the owner of the vineyard came, what will he do to those tenants? They said to him, he will put those wretches to a miserable death and let out the vineyard to other tenants who will give him the fruit in their seasons. Jesus said to them, have you never read in the scriptures, the stone that the builder rejected has become the cornerstone. This was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore I tell you, the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people producing its fruit. And the one who falls on the stone will be broken to pieces. And when it falls on another, it will crush him. When the chief priest and the Pharisees heard this parable, they perceived that he was speaking about them. And although they were seeking to arrest him, they feared the crowd because he held him to be a prophet. Because they held him to be a prophet. Probably one of the most controversial, but very plain. The truth is, many, not all, but especially the intellectuals, the leaders, etc., there's much truth. In fact, there's total truth in this. So, while we love conspiracies in our own age, if you want a scriptural conspiracy,